Well, hello there, and Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope you all had a great Christmas. And today I'll be talking about the GeoGuessr World League, and more specifically to do with my performances in the last 6 weeks. If you're brand new to the channel or not sure what this GeoGuessr World League is, it is pretty much the esports of GeoGuessr right now, and I am one of the 40 participants. And yeah, let's just jump into it. So this is the Malfunction game. This was the very first game. This is the key round. Both go in the same way here. So right now, we're probably going to find the same info. And if we find the same info in France, especially if it's area codes, the round is going to be neutralized and go to round 8. So we both end up going the same direction at first. And this is where like a bit of strategy came in. So at this, oh my god. So at this point, I was thinking, is there any sign of civilization this way? It feels like there isn't. We're facing oncoming traffic, which probably will make it more annoying to find a sign getting blocked by the cars. And thirdly, with the distance we have and with the slower moving because we can't fast move, it's disabled, and also like the speed is slower as well in game compared to normal because it's like a different client. So this situation was like, if I move here for 20 seconds, I'm probably gonna get to, I don't know, this trunk here, or maybe a bit further, but there won't be any signs. I have to get really lucky with a car showing up with an area code. If you watch what I do here, I go, okay, I'm going the other direction. And Malfunction decides to go the same way. She did manage to see a vehicle with an area code. So if I had an area code early and she said now, I think I would have been in trouble. So if I assume that was private. And here I'm in a village, so I'm feeling good that I made the right decision. But I'm also worried that Malfunction went this way. And then I found an area code. So I think it said it was XX84. I remember 84 being in this pocket near the Switzerland border in Brescanon. I'm sorry for bad name pronunciation. But that was the key round in this game. I would say this is what made me win the game. And this, I think, was the interesting round. So we had a France motorway round. This was definitely not GG. I felt I'm gonna ignore like how much said GG there because like this round is not GG. Like the last France round, it was like 300 kilometers away, and I gained 3.7k off Malfunction for a decent enough guess. This is round 5, so it's gonna be more punishing, and also like if Malfunction finds something and I don't, I'm losing. Like probably, unless I am getting lucky with a middle guess. France is big enough to lose on round 10, and I just want to get that out there because I noticed a lot of people were saying like France is a small country or too small. I completely disagree. I mean, if one of us found information, they would have one of us would have won the game because it wasn't bang in the middle. Like if it was bang in the middle, then it's just tough. But it ended up being west, and we found no information. And yes, in the grand scheme of things, Malfunction carrier said middle, so that's a problem. But if there was information this round and we both missed it, then there's an opportunity missed. So it was definitely not game, and I really had to stay focused and try and find info because I felt like the end roads are quite hard to find. So I didn't try and waste too much time trying to find the end road because I feel like I'm not experienced with that and I need to find something else quickly. But the problem was I didn't find anything. Thankfully for me, Malfunction didn't find anything either, and I was quite relieved that I won. This round felt like a blunder. We had like the cabbages and stuff on the side of the road, and usually I'll go more north, but the landscape felt much more southern. So I definitely cannot afford to do this in the later rounds. And it was also an opportunity to like go more south and get close there. I think Koi Hague would have been the furthest south I would have gone as well. But Malfunction got the south side there better than me, so credit to Malfunction. And this one was quite important. So I knew it was Peru. We didn't have the zebra, but this landscape reminded me of Tumbes area. But I was a bit worried about Piora, a weird hilly Piora, or what's it called, Chicalio. But I did like Tumbes by far the most. That was my gut send. Malfunction did decide to go more south, which was possible, but I stuck with my gut, and it paid off. And yeah, and I know Malfunction is really good at Peru, so that was a really good round to gain something from that I would not normally expect. This one, South Africa. I don't know if we've got the architecture in view here, but on the hills, like, I noticed some of them were like kind of like it's hard to describe. It's like a pyramid kind of thing on top, like a rounded pyramid roof, which usually see more of that towards KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga, I would say. Like you can get it in Limpopo and you can get it in East Cape, especially towards the border of Durban. But but what threw me off from that was the combination of the hills and the dryness threw me off from KwaZulu-Natal like immediately. And KwaZulu-Natal is like the region that includes Durban and that. But I think we both made a similar guess here. But this is like a country I need to improve on for certain scenarios like this. And the architecture would have definitely helped here. If I trust the architecture more and lent more into KwaZulu-Natal, this was a great opportunity to take more damage off. But the houses aren't 100% meta, so I did decide to trust it. And 408 kilometers isn't ideal, but thankfully Malfunction from my end did the same thing. But yeah, not a good round really to be getting that far off. This round, to be honest, I thought the houses felt quite southern at first. If Malcolm you're watching, feel free to let me know if there's anything I could have done better here. Any Swedish players, feel free to let me know. But yeah, so I was torn between that going more towards Stockholm or south, but I thought it could be a lot of places in the south, maybe excluding the west coast. But yeah, I decided to go south because I thought like if it's south, I could see Malfunction staying in Stockholm and its game. But it ended up being Stockholm, which is my own fault. But I don't really know what else I can do there. I've got two 50-50s. I chose the wrong one. That stuff can happen. But we got our third chili. Well, I won't say I feel like, but I have practiced Southern Chile, which was why I was kind of surprised about the earlier Chile round. I was like, okay, that's much further south than I thought it could be. And if we had this other way around, I would lose. So thankfully that didn't happen, you know, from my end at least. But this landscape of these trees, it reminded me of some like national park coverage you get like either to Muko more, like towards Nukin, the monkey puzzle trees kind of thing going on. And it felt more towards that area to me. It didn't feel super southern. I thought some of the trees were off. And I felt like this was the round to take advantage on. And if it was south, it's like fair enough. I've not seen this before in the south. But to me, it felt like definitely north of Puerto Montt to me. So I went more towards Temuco. I mean, the guess I made doesn't make as much sense, but I was kind of hedging in case it was like a road I haven't looked at come across or revised properly. But Malfunction did decide to go more south, and that was the game, just about, and that is what I needed to win the first match. 2-0, 3 points. We'll take it, Jeff. Games against Yanek. This one I'm surprised about because I think Yanek found the area code quicker than me, but he either wasn't sure of it being Ireland yet, or he just didn't know where the 20s were. I wanted to double confirm. So I saw 021, but it also said Cork, and I have learned roughly where the 20s, the etc's are. So I know when to send quick. Yes, so I think Yannick ended up going middle because he was obviously not confident, and that cost him a lot of damage, which is a shame. I mean, I think the best way to think of it is the 10s and the 20s, think of Dublin and Cork. I think that's the best way of putting it. The big two cities. Yannick was playing solo at the start, and now I'm in the lead. But this was like, I think, what happened here with Yannick is he saw Bear Lake, or Beer Lake, or sorry, and he thought, oh, is it this BC one? But he didn't move. And my first reaction here was, it looks like US, Beer Lake. I don't know where that specifically is, but it's US. But if I go back, I see a Utah plate, and there's not many lakes in this region of US, so it was very findable. But Utah confirmed it, and probably wasted a fair bit of time there. But I feel like if he did find that Utah plate, he would have been fine. But that's just the way it goes. That's why you have to be always locked in. It's really important. Those first 10-15 seconds are so important. Yeah, I was not happy with this. I do need to revisit Northwest Territories versus Manitoba Gen 2 Rose, it seems. Not good. Yanek was debating Sask actually, but he did switch to Manitoba, so a very shocking guess from me. I should not even be a possibility, really. But a really nice round from Yanek there. Again, an absolute shocking guess. We have salt pepper payment. I've studied Botswana roads. I'm so frustrated why I didn't bring up the fact it's a salt and pepper tarmac road, which is a very gettable road east of Araparas, or whatever it's called, or Mora, whatever it's called. It's where Yannick is anyway. So yeah, I was like, what am I doing here? And yeah, very poor for me, but credit Yannick for being on point. He very nice round one and a perfect round two. I should have been there. I should have not got that wrong. That was very poor for me, but that's just the once you actually rows in a certain country, you can forget things in a couple of months. Again, another round I should have got like very poor for me again. I remember there being a sunset road north of Camin, but I also remember there being some kind of sunset or some kind of coverage west of Santa Cruz somewhere, which I think got caught in the thought process. But regardless, it's still not acceptable at this pro standard to get this wrong. Um, but credit Yannick for getting it. But yeah, I was playing terribly in the start of this game. It was especially for someone like me who studied these countries a lot. I think Bolivia's an exception, so Bolivia I'm not too mad about, but I was aware of the sunset coverage near Kamiri, so it was very poor. Right now, I'm in the mud. 1400 against 15,8, 5,8. I guess the cons is already over, really. 9 times out of 10. But unless you get all these rounds where you either 100% know it or you're going to 100% miss it, especially with the pressure element. So once I saw this image, I immediately thought brand new coverage Colombia on the Casanare border, I believe, which is where I ended up going. So that was my very first thought when I saw it. I didn't think anything else. I thought that makes sense. The car kind of makes sense. The architecture makes sense. This is a type of round I could see somebody not thinking of in time. Um, I got unless if Yannick hasn't looked at his coverage, that's fair enough. Then it's just fair play. But I feel like the earlier send definitely had an impact in this round because if you're not thinking Colombia, this area here, where on earth are you else going to go? Which town is very understandable if you don't think of it in time or don't know it. But yeah, like 4.8 kilometers away, it's a very nice guess, and you either get that bang on or you lose the game, and that was very unfortunate from Yannick there to lose that. So yeah, and just jump into the games. So this was the biggest blunder of my thing. So I firstly saw, well, I don't know if it shows it, but I thought I saw a pole without a support, and that completely threw me off. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's just a weird para. Because para has that side blur, but I didn't bring up the fact you can get it in other states. And I think the problem here was I was like, why is the rounded poles everywhere? Like, this makes no sense for where I want to send. And I was desperate to find an area code because I saw a pole with no support, and that completely took me, or I thought I did. I don't know if it actually was, but that completely messed me over. If I saw all supports, I'm going to be ignoring that blur. I'm going to be honest with rounded poles. It was one of those unfortunate situations because I've spent a lot of time grinding Brazil, and to lose that many points on a simple Sao Paulo was quite devastating. Um, it should not have happened, but this is what can happen in the competitive scene. You can't be perfect, you make mistakes. You just want to mitigate those mistakes as much as you can and make sure you don't do them in the most important moments. But this round, it reminded me of like urban coverage in Rajasthan. I didn't really get a vibe for Central. I didn't really get an MP vibe. I didn't see any flags or anything that made me want to go there more. I just thought it made more sense to go Raj. And yeah, I was kind of begging for a multi-merchant here because I don't deserve to win this game after that Brazil blunder. But yeah, we'll keep going. And yeah, there was too many mistakes in this game. Like there was very bad mistakes. And this one was the second blunder, so I need to learn to read or know what to read for Peru. And it looks like, wait, did I zoom in on that? So what did I don't know what he saw. There's something. I don't know what that says, but look, it says NASCAR on the wall. It said NASCAR on the wall, and I missed it. If we go back, I'll show you what I missed. And this is the problem. This is the problem. Like, look, if I give myself a few more seconds to find that, I'm finding NASCAR there. And at this point, yes, I'm in the yellow, but if I send that early, look at the time ticking. He did. To be fair to him, he did find the place of the region, so he could have found it quicker than me. But if I sent that early, it would have been a different story. But and also I wanted to switch, and I didn't register in time, so that kind of hurt. But very deserved win there. Very poor game from my end. I definitely should be playing better than that. So this was the turning point of the game, the match, I would say. So here we have Pangandaran. So that is a carry pattern, and Indonesia has like over 400 carry patterns, which is like municipalities. I think roughly, I don't know what it's specifically called, but there's a lot to learn, and this was one of them. And I immediately knew that that one was in Western Java on the coast. When I've been practicing, I like try and zoom in naturally without thinking. Like it sounds bad, but it's that instinctive zooming in where you think that made me find it quick here. So that was really good for me. And yeah, so I sent earlier, and this is what the strategy paid off here because Orlando couldn't find it, and there you go. So a really nice round there. But that's the thing, like, if someone told me where it was without using a map, I might find it more difficult. But when I've got a map in front of me, I'll find things quickly. I think that's the best way of putting it because I just practiced that many games. Like, I think Indonesia Cow Patterns was like my second highest game count map this year or last year. But yeah, this round had to be north of Ulaanbaatar with that coverage, so with the car and also landscape. So that was enough for me to win the game. So really, the last round concluded the game, but that made sure that I won. So this round was the round that made me win the game pretty much. All the match. The way I thought here is yes, the payment's weird. It made me think Argentina at first did not like Europe at all, but the poll was a bit suspicious. Farmland, the agriculture felt more South African. And I'm going to be honest, I have seen this payment before, not in such a remote setting. Once I thought South Africa, the poll would made a lot more sense, and the payment makes a bit more sense. And landscape felt South African in the first place. And once I realised, yeah, it's South Africa, and I was like, do I go for it? Yeah, makes sense. Put the pressure on. And once like had that realization, it was I put the pressure on, and Orlando did not think of it or was not sure that made a massive difference. That's why that's why MK did so well last year is he knew when to send early, and I've implemented that in the no move and NMPZ game against Orlando, and it's paid off both times. Now this round, to be honest, I was not happy about. I feel like I could have lost a lot of damage here because there's two situations. I was worried about Indonesia. I could not rule out Indonesia, first of all. I want to make that clear. So I think Orlando's guess still has a lot of validity, and I think it's a valid guess, especially like towards Lampung, South Sumatra area. But for me, I thought the soil, the landscape, the trees, I don't know, like it just felt more something I would see in Thai, more likely than Indonesia. And we did have rubber trees, I think, to the side, or I think they were rubber trees. I couldn't fully tell, but I thought they could have been. And with the hilliness, I thought, could it ever be like Kanchanaburi or whatever it's called where I end up going? Because I know that has rubber trees and it's hilly. But obviously, the rubber trees you get a lot in the south, you get them in the northeast, you get them in the east. You have to kind of like use a landscape and other vegetation and other clues to be more confident with which one to go. But this one, I think the soil kind of baited me to go away from far south, which it didn't matter, but I could have lost a lot of damage here if it ended up being far south Thailand, like very far away, 2.5 times damage. It's not ideal, but it ended up being Thailand, and on our way went Indonesia, which was enough for me to win the game. So I was pretty relieved because that round was quite difficult, and I feel like a lot of people who go down there will go far south. So yeah, I mean, I thought the soil was weird and the hilliness was weird, but that's just the way it goes. But it was a good win, a good comeback, a 2-1 win, and yeah, I'm currently ninth in the entire league. But like I say, there's a lots of people with games in hand. But like I say, like I shouldn't read too much into this. I feel like it's better to have those points guaranteed than to have games in hand because it just puts more pressure on you. That's not for everybody. The key thing is winning more than losing. And in the top 12, you can't need to win 2 and 3 games, I feel like. And overall, in EMEA, I'm in the top 5 now, but there's a long way to go, like I said before. But at least there's an 8-point gap. So I think I started like pretty much rock bottom after week 1 and 2, and I climbed all the way up to ninth. So it's been a good comeback, and like I say, I'm really grinding really hard. I just want to thank everyone for the support so far, and everyone who spent their time to help me so far. I'm really thankful for that, and I will keep trying my best, and I will try not let you guys down. And yeah, sure that I've got, the hard grinding pays off, and anybody who works hard enough can get themselves into these positions. But yeah, that is all. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, this is gonna be fun to trim down, and I'll catch you in the next video. Yeah, of course.